Hello and welcome to an exclusive interview on ET Edge Insights. Today we have with us Nilesh. He's the head of Leasing and Marketing, Ascendas Firstspace. Nilesh, it's a pleasure to host you on ET Edge Insights.
Thank you, Dhanmay. It's a pleasure likewise.
Right. Nilesh, let's talk about some of the emerging trends in the supply chain industry ecosystem. If you can just align it with your line of work and talk about some of these trends.
Sure. So supply chain is something that we've all been so passionate about as a
Right.
subject. And when you talk about emerging trends in a country like India, there are tons of those to talk about. Right. I'll maybe pick a couple of them which are more closer to the line of work that we do, and something which is very closer to our hearts and minds as well. Right. One emerging trend which I always look out for, not only in India but globally, is a kind of automation that is playing a role in supply chain. When we talk about automation, it has a very wide spectrum to boost about, right from AI to machine learnings to the way handling of goods, etc., and that is happening. But for anybody to efficiently use these automation advancements, there also needs to be support from the facility infrastructure that could support those kind of installations, equipment, which are then making it more efficient. So what we do as a part of our line of work is we try and build futuristic buildings where sectors who really are serious about automating, they can come and design their automation basis the kind of buildings that we make. So this is something which is been very prevalent across most industries. If you look at maybe 4-5 years back, and if you think about something called as an ASRS installation in India, you will find probably only one with a very large automotive manufacturer in Nimrana. But now you see a lot of modular automation systems which are now prevalent in most of the warehouses where the goods are handled. So that's one trend that I think everybody should keep a watch for. The second trend is sustainability. As we keep saying, it used to be a tick in the box until now, and now everybody is more serious about it. I think 2-3 things are playing a role. So I think one is that most of the people and organizations have realized that it is not only a business agenda. We all are responsible for the planet, and if in our capacities we do not contribute to it, then we are really not being sustainable in our outlook. So that's one big change which we are seeing. Then there are global organizations who are entering India. There are Indian organizations who are becoming more global in nature, and then there are partners who are becoming more and more aware that why this is needed. All of this is driving a big push on across the value chain of supply chain. Everything needs to be sustainable, as sustainable as it can be. So these are two trends I really like to watch out for.
Right. Very interestingly, Nilesh, you pointed out that it's no longer an individual thing, sustainability. I mean, if it affects one person, it can affect everyone. Ultimately, it's one earth, and the entire population can get affected. Right. Then one word we talk about in supply chain management is resilience. So what is resilience, if you can describe in your words, and maybe align it again with your line of work?
Yeah, I think resilience. So I think the Black Swan event which we had 5 years back globally, which we all went through, I think everything now boils down to so many R's, being responsive, having the reach, and then one last R which is resilience. So my view of being a very resilient system is as deep or as black as that event should not be shaking up your supply chain. It should not be disturbing the kind of visibility and control which you want on your supply chain, is what is being resilient will truly mean. Right. And it not only covers the domain of your business, it should also cover the people domain for you. Right. Because if you are not covering the people domain, eventually you are leaving your supply chains at the mercy of just being automated, which is not also everything that a supply chain is all about. Right. So these are two things which matter when you talk about being resilient. In our line of work, again, we build extremely compelling infrastructure which supports or which enables the supply chains in the country and across 30 countries that we are present. Our perspective towards resilience is these buildings are lasting forever. When I say forever, these buildings are designed to last 40-50 years, right? Which is more than probably double the lifetime that a supply chain ecosystem will thrive in any country. So that is how one word towards how we make our business very resilient to the needs of the supply chain makers in the country.
Right. One last question, Nilesh. We've been talking about sustainability. So in your line of work, definitely green construction is one of the most important aspects or a critical aspect. So how do you see that ecosystem evolving, especially in India, in the next decade?
So, as I said, sustainability is no more a tick in the box or
Right.
more of a boardroom jargon. We are seeing a lot of changes happening at ground. If you compare this in India with all the other global economies,
Right.
we are at a very, very nascent stage, right? But there is a lot of assertiveness towards it. In terms of practicing it on ground, I
Right.
think right now the onus is more on service providers
Right.
and the developers in the whole who are more of the extended part of the value chain. But slowly we see that this agenda is picking pace in the global boardrooms, primarily because they feel that it's not only about investment or it's not a cost to your P&L.
Right.
It's a way to survive, right? It's a license to survive going ahead. The way we do it, in line with all the other global organizations, we have our net 2030 and net 2050 goals. We are already doing quite a few things in India. One specific thing which I would like to touch upon is um, we do our buildings as a standard capable building of hosting solar panels, right? So
Right.
which is where we bring a lot of inclination towards renewable energy,
Right.
right? So this is one way. There are 100 other examples of how even construction and even building warehousing infra could be really
Right.
sustainable.
Right. All right, Nilesh, on that note, thank you very much for your quick and wonderful insights. It was truly a pleasure chatting with you.
Pleasure
Thank you
here.
very
Thank you
much.
so much.